This is the plaintiff, Ashley Goldstein. She says she and the defendant were one-time best friends, and they lived together for a period of time. As time went by, she realized they weren't compatible as living mates, and things spiraled out of control. The girl's boyfriend was also very rude to her, and suffice to say, they don't live together anymore. The defendant, however, still owes her for half the utilities, to the tune of $532.58, and that's just what she's suing for today. This is the defendant, Christine Felici. She says the plaintiff had an extremely shady boyfriend, and living with her was intolerable. The girl even broke into her bedroom, trashed the place, and then sent her a picture of the mess. As far as the utility bills, she wasn't even living there during the time the plaintiff is suing for, and owes nothing. She's accused of being a bad roommate.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Ashley Goldstein, you are suing your former roommate, Christine Felici?
That's correct.
Felici. For $532.58 in utility bills that you say she owes you for her half and has refused to pay.
Yes.
What's going on?
Basically, back in October 2011, we moved into a house together.
Had you known each other before that?
We had been best friends for 11 years.
Best
we met
friends?
in ninth grade.
Not just close friends, best
No,
friends.
we were always together, best friends. Yes.
Okay.
So
Well, that's sad.
yeah, a little bit. So basically, we moved in. Everything was fine, but basically, she moved out. We started fighting over little things. She was kind of a big slob, and so I'd argue about that. I would spend hours cleaning my house.
Okay, but if you're best friends, you know she's a slob.
Well,
if I'm not saying you're a slob, I'm saying you think she's a slob.
I guess
I know how my best friend's habits.
Right.
I've been in her house.
I know.
See where she lives. I know.
I guess I should have known. I mean, her house at her mom's was messy too, but I guess when we moved in, I addressed it as one of my concerns, and she said, no, I'll be all right. I'll clean after myself. So then, I would spend hours cleaning the house. I would get home, there'd be dishes everywhere, there'd be stuff everywhere. The house would be disgusting. So then, she would argue with me about, she liked to keep the heat at 62, which for me, that's extremely low. So I'd, of course, turn it, 64, 65, 66. And she would have an issue with that and say, you're wasting our heat, da-da-da-da-da. I'm not going to pay it if you keep it this high, this, that, and the other thing. So she ended up moving out, just got her stuff up and left one day.
When?
This was, I want to say, the second week in April or the first week in April. I want to see.
March 26th.
Her room was...
March rent had been paid, right?
I believe she had paid March.
Okay. April
But
rent
not-
ended up being paid by her half of the security deposit?
Correct.
So the landlord accepted that as her half of the rent?
Well, he
Is that
didn't
correct?
accept it. He has taken her to court as well. But
He's taking her to court for what?
she left before her lease was up. It was up in October. And
Yeah,
so
but
she
he's
still...
got you to pin that on.
5... Yeah, well, hopefully not. I mean, he said he's going to wait.
I'm telling you right now, unless this landlord has a screw loose, they're not going to go to court on a roommate situation on one of the roommates. They're just going to look at you. Did you guys sign a lease?
It's not a legal rental. There's no
He's not going to
certificate
court
of
at all,
occupancy.
period. Yeah, so go on.
All right, so basically, she ended up getting all the stuff and leaving. She had agreed when we moved in. I mean, the landlord was there, my mother was there, and it's on the lease. Number 18 of the lease, it says, lessee shall be responsible for paying heat and electric. We both signed.
Okay, why am I here? Because I don't really want to hear like all of the complaints between the two of you about one's a slob, one doesn't do dishes, I don't like her boyfriend. Why am I here? Because she didn't pay the half of the electric.
Well, yeah.
All right, and that's for what months?
That was for the only month she's paid since we've lived there is, actually, she paid December.
Let me see your bills. Now, at this point, how are you two getting along?
We haven't talked.
And I'm sorry. At this point in January, February, March, when she's not paying the energy bill, how are you two getting along?
At that time, we were getting along. It was about a month and a half prior to her moving out that we got in a bigger argument. And
What was
we didn't
that
talk.
argument about?
I want to say it was about the little stuff I told you about, me with the heat bill and her with, being messy and little things that kind of spiraled out of control, and we said hurtful things to each other.
Now, in the past in your relationship, had you ever said hurtful things to each other of this magnitude and then gotten over it?
Yes. In the past, yes. I don't think
Okay.
it's gotten to this extent, though, to where her boyfriend has gotten involved and said hurtful things to my mother, who doesn't
What
even
did
have
her? Is
anything.
this the boyfriend?
Yep.
What did the boyfriend say to your mother?
My mom texted him, and because he was saying things to me, we were arguing back and forth. He said, stay out of it. They fight like sisters. They'll probably get over it.
That's what your mother texted him?
My mother texted because she knew I was upset because he was saying hurtful things to me.
What was he saying to you?
Just, you're scum of this earth. You're disgusting. Nobody likes you. Kind of stuff like that.
These former best friends moved in together, and that was the end of the relationship. Some very hurtful things flew between the two of them. Let's listen.
Let me hear your side. What's going on?
Okay, so we know that we had problems before arguing. We've been best friends for 10 years, but we figured we're going to save some money, live together. We were both looking to move out on our own. We were both a little apprehensive about it. So we knew it might be a problem. So we said, as long as everything's going good, we'll live together. I'll pay half of the RG&E. She put it in her name. So October, November, December, everything was going okay. I would give her cash and she would pay the electric. And I think
you were paying half the bills and that was your responsibility while you were living there.
Yes.
Go on.
So in December, she got involved with the wrong kind of guy. He was into drugs, serious drugs. She found a spoon in his glove box from when he was doing heroin, and she forgave him for it. I started feeling extremely unsafe staying there. I didn't know what was going on. He was manic, or he was on bipolar medications, and sometimes he would take his medication, sometimes he wouldn't. He stole. He had a record from stealing. So I started not staying at home. I was living with my boyfriend and his father. They have a house together, and I was there about 6 to 7 days a week. Finally, she reached the point where she came to her senses and left him, and she filed a police report, and in order of protection, he came and slashed the tires on her car.
When did that happen?
I'm not sure when the tires was, but the police report that she filed, I think, was late January.
Okay.
So late January, they broke it off, and I was very happy. She filed the police report.
February and March, were there any incidents?
February 7th, not with him.
Okay.
No. So I was very happy that she broke it off.
What happened between you guys after that?
So I went with her to serve the order of protection. I was finally happy to be able to come back in the house and, start living normally again. Not even 10 days after that, I started receiving text messages from her. So I finally came home.
Text messages from her that what?
About not spending. It all started when she sent me a text message. She asked me if I wanted to go out to breakfast with her the night before for the next day. And I just started staying at home again. And I said, you know what? I haven't been feeling well. I'm just going to have my protein shake and I'm going to go to the sauna. So the next morning I wake up, do that. I go to leave the house. And I get text messages from her. She's like, you're never home, and now you are staying here, and you're probably just hanging out with Dan. I know you're lying to me. She became very needy of my time. I have a job, I have a boyfriend, and I live with her. So then all these text messages start, and I have all the text messages. I mean, she said a lot, some words that I don't care to say out loud, but there's actually 13 text messages here. There's screenshots. They're a little bit out of
text from her to you, text from you to her,
both.
Or both? Have you deleted any of the texts from you to her before
Not a single one.
Let me see your phone.
Okay. February.
Why is there a picture of a messy room?
That is how it kind of ended. She broke into my bedroom, trashed it, and sent me a picture saying she trashed my bedroom.
Okay, there's a series of texts. I'm not going to take the time to go through word for word, but you do sound a little needy. You're a little bit upset that she's not spending time with you. You think she's lying about where she's going. She has a pretty emotionally mature response to you that I asked you to watch a movie. I asked you to come to the sauna with me. You didn't want to come, and you sound a little petulant, but that doesn't determine a lawsuit. You're saying to me she's left me in a lurch, and you're saying it's not livable there. So to some extent, I need to look through whether it's livable or whether now all of a sudden it's become like the movie Single White Female, which I don't think it is. I think it's two people who've loved each other for a long time.
She was my best friend.
Honest to God, it's so sad.
It's very sad.
I mean, I'm not, the most touchy-feely person in the world or anything, but I feel really bad for you guys. Because, no offense, but guys come and go. Some of them stay. But guys come and go. But, the friends that you have when you're young and who have been through every knee scrape and prom.
I completely agree.
Honestly, it's really quite sad.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Is it risky for two best friends to live together? Are there best friends here? Yes. Two best friends? You two?
Yes.
Risky for you two to live together?
Yes.
Why?
It ruins your friendship because finances get involved.
Sir?
I agree. However, we're very cool about the finances.
Do you guys live together?
Off and on.
No, actually, I help him out. I'm more of his personal care assistant.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Is it too risky?
Yeah, because if you get a boyfriend and then she has a boyfriend, then you guys have to figure out stuff. And then also...
You're going to end up stealing her boyfriend. I know you. Going inside the courtroom.
You know, what I want to ask you is tell me how all of that, because she's not suing you for rent. This isn't what I have. I just have her suing for the utilities. So if that's all she's suing for, on what legal theory are you not responsible for utilities before you've moved out?
I wasn't living there for 3 months.
You may choose to spend more time with your man. But if you haven't moved out, you're still living there, hon.
Well, because it wasn't a legal lease,
How does that affect the agreement you have with her? Let me tell you what that affects. If you all know you have an illegal lease and the guy's suing you for the money, no judge is going to make you pay money on an illegal lease. We have a public policy against that. Mm-hmm. It's like if you sell a kilo of cocaine and you come back and say that cocaine was bad quality, I am not going to help you to get the benefit of your bargain in your contract for cocaine dealing.
Understand.
The courts do not get involved in illegal transactions, and an illegal lease is such a transaction. I do not have that case in front of me. I have a very legal agreement between two women who are living together that you're going to split the utilities. You don't pay your half, and your answer to me is, well, I wasn't using it. That's not how it works. Stop. If the bill was in your name and she wasn't paying, you better believe that you'd expect her to pay half. Whether nobody's going to sit there and figure out what day you were there, what day you weren't there, and how much light you use, or how low or high you want to put. That's not how it works. And the bill in April is for usage in March, where you indisputably were there. I find that you have to pay the utility bills. You guys decide for yourselves what it is you're going to do about your friendship. It has nothing to do with me. I find that you have to pay your utility bills, $532.58. Verdict for the plaintiff. Now, let me tell you something. You just had a smile because you won, and that's fine, okay? If you really do care about your friend, you're not going to go out there and high-five yourself.
I don't feel that
and be a jerk about this. You were a jerk throughout the text. She was not a jerk. You have not handled this well, so don't gloat. Because you have $532 and change, but you lost an 11-year friendship. So don't gloat. Verdict for the plaintiff.
So the defendant leaves the courtroom first after plaintiff wins this case, but do you feel like there are any winners or losers in the situation? It's kind of sad to watch friends break apart like that.
It's sad and it's hard when you have a friendship for 11 years to let go of that, but it was the one thing that was keeping me back from moving forward in my life, so I consider myself a winner.
Do you think it was the new boyfriend coming in that kind of changed the whole dynamic and started the slide?
It was a combination of things. She had gotten involved and she's been on a downward slope for a couple of years, so I did my best to help her out, got her a job, she lost it.
You're going to miss her as a friend?
Not who she is now, no.
All right. Okay. Just head right around the corner there. Okay. And let's see what the plaintiff has to say about the outcome here. Okay. So you won your $500 some odd lawsuit. Is that good enough for you?
I mean, it's not good enough. I'm relieved just to be able to pay my electric bill that I wasn't able to pay on my own.
What's an 11-year friendship worth in dollars?
A lot more. But, you know, we were both wrong. I feel like as though I can admit my wrongdoing. You know, she had an even role in this in this argument. And, you know, of course, she wants to play the victim.
You're going to miss her as a friend?
Of course. I am. But, you know, she, with her boyfriend, she's a different person.
Harvey?
Whether you're best friends or not, when you move in with somebody, you got to set the ground rules on who pays what. You got to establish the obligations going in, and you got to put it in writing. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.